Hey guys, it's me Prabby, and today I'm gonna talk about how to use my favorite loadouts, bow knife and bow scythe, on my favorite maps in Rivals, which is Arena, Docks, and Construction. And I'll be breaking down each map, including routes, setups, and techs for each map. So before we start, let's look at the two loadout that we're gonna use in this video. The first one is the bow and scythe and molly, and we will use revolver for both loadouts. Uh, this loadout is very broken and pretty unfair because you can do animation cancels and stuff, which can let you one-shot your enemies. And the other one is the bow and knife and grenade. This loadout is pretty good for some grenade jump openings that you can one-shot your enemies in the start of the game. Because I already made a bow guide, I'm not gonna be talking about a lot of basics in this video. And if you want to learn the basics, you can go watch my bow guide. So before we start, if I miss any points or you want to share your tips, make sure to comment down below, and if I find your tips useful, I'll give it a heart. So before we go on to the specific maps and text, let's look at my settings, and feel free to copy or just skip this part. So most of the things are default, but my FOV is 120, and make sure to turn on damage numbers if it's off, because you really need this to know how much your enemy health is on. And now onto my crosshair. Be sure to just copy this if you want. And the hotkeys are pretty important too. So the most important is the quick utils, which is my E. I set it on my E since it's easier to press. Quick melee is also important, which I put it on my F. And for my slide, I put it on my C, since you need that for side hop.
I
What?
need to blur this out, bro.
What is bro doing?
No
You're
way.
lying. No, I'm fucking buying premium, bro.
Bro. The first tech I want to teach you is the ramp boost or ramp jump. This is pretty useful on maps like Arena, Docks, and Station, where roofs and ramps are pretty common. So to do this, go on a ramp or roofs and slide jump while flicking your camera up. You can get beam while you're in the air when you're ramp jumping, so I suggest using the scythe to quick melee and dash down to not get shot after shooting. Another important tech to use is to animation cancel with your quick utils while using molly. So after hitting someone when you charge, you can animation cancel with your molly, and if you hit a headshot, you could one-shot them with your headshot and your molly. Another important tech that I use a lot is the Praby strike, which I'm not gonna explain a lot because I already made a bow guide on the channel. But all you need to know is unless you hit your melee twice before going back to your main weapon after quick melee, and it is very important to know the scythe dash range so you can hit a Praby strike and one-shot your enemies consistently. Quick note, when you use the animation cancel with your quick melee or quick utils, use it while you're charging your bow, since you don't need to reload after you switch back to your weapon. If you don't charge your bow and animation cancel, you need to reload before shooting again, which could be bad when you're fighting someone. When using the side dash, make sure to not slide immediately after dashing, because it will make you get stuck on the ground. What you should do is, after dashing, wait a little bit and then slide, and after a while you will get the timing of it and slide freely after dashing. You can also use this knowledge to juke out your enemies by dashing behind them and then sliding back to where you dash from, which make you a really hard target to hit. When using the knife loadout, try to use your quick melee as much as possible. So for example, if you swap from your bow to your knife, there will be a slight delay for about like 1 or 2 seconds where you cannot backstab, which is really bad if you want to kill someone quick. Try to hold out your other weapons like grenade after nade jumping, or just bow after you double jump, and try to use quick melee to backstab someone if you get the chance. When the fight is really close and you got your enemy low to about less than 30 health, you should switch your weapon to your revolver. Since the bow got a huge travel time, even though you're close and you hit them, you might still lose.
Don't touch me there, master.
So as the timer runs down, I immediately right click to charge up my bow, then ramp boost up and aim at the opposite side of the ramp to shoot at the most common spot that the enemy is going to peek, and then sight down after shooting so that I don't get shot and we have the health advantage in the later fights. Another route I take is to slide off this ramp right here and then jump onto this platform and then shoot your enemy at the ramp or even when they sight up in the middle. Do not ramp boost when you're doing this because you will get flung into the air very high and it is very possible for you to get beamed and lose a lot of HP. Another route I like to take is to come to this left side of the map and play behind this wall so you don't get shot by the snipers or whatever, and if you hit the shot on the ramp dude, do a follow up with the side combo and finish them off. Using the sight for the bow loadout is very different from using the normal guns. Try to not sight up to get position like AR or burst, because if you use your sight for movement, it will be on cooldown and when the opportunity comes, you will not have your sight to do your combos. So onto the knife loadout, when the time is ticking down, I pull out my nade and hold my left click and come to the left side of the map to do a nade boost and then follow up with a quick melee while looking behind to kill whoever is on the ramp to finish the round fast. You can also nade jump on this ramp. This will make you cover more area but you're more vulnerable to get shot in the air. When you're nade jumping, you can change directions in the air by strafing, by moving your mouse depending where you want to go with your movement key to not lose speed. Because the bow requires charging, try to not swap to your knife or sight a lot because even though it gives you movement speed, it would take a long time for you to pull your bow out again and charge again. Even though having a height advantage is very important for hitting your headshots, but on arena you shouldn't stay on top for too long since your enemy can shoot you freely, and because they got more DPS than you, most of the time they would win if they hit all their shots. Because of the bow hitbox, try to not shoot enemies that are directly on top of you. Try to walk out a bit and hit them on like a 45-degree angle so the shot can hit. One way to deal with people who like to be directly on top of your head is use your side combo, and because it deals so much damage, you can chip them down or try to finish them off. One thing you can do with your molly is to zone your enemy off. So as you can see, I zone off this left side of the map, and if the enemy is there, there's only one way for them to go, which is this side, and I can just do the side combo on them and kill them. And you can also use your bow left click to pressure your enemy in order to make them go wherever you want and knife them. Laptop, please bro, laptop! Oh, no way! No! Since docks is pretty big, here's some spots you can side up to. So when the round starts, you can side up to white, red and yellow buildings. When you're using the knife loadout, or if you want to save your scythe for your combo, you can get up on the roof by cone boosting. So what you have to do is to get on the cone, get like kind of like stuck on the cone, and then slide jump very quickly, like the ramp boost, and then you will do a cone boost. Before your cone boost, you should charge your bow so that you can immediately shoot your enemy if you see them when you come up. Here's a route for my knife loadout if I don't want my enemy to hear me going up the ladder. And if I want to go up on the red building silently, there's gonna be a cone before you meet the ladder and you can cone boost up there too. With your knife loadout, you can do some nade boost over here on this stair. Knife someone who is climbing up the ladder if they're not using a sight. You can also do the same thing with this white building by strafing to it to knife someone. If my enemy is using a scythe, I usually nade boost here so I can have some cover. You can utilize these breakable windows so that you can play inside and get some nasty off angles and he can shoot your enemy. You can also use these metal thingies on the wall to get off angles and jump up to places. With your knife loadout, you can bait your enemies to come inside these buildings and knife them. When you play in docks, try to not play in this blue building because it's very open and it's the furthest building away from everyone. Because of the arrow travel time, it will be hard to hit your shots. And it is also hard to deal with good players that plays on this blue building, so you should find a way to go near them and deal some damage. This is a pretty common knowledge. You can also wrap around this blue building and this yellow building right here. It's pretty hard to break these barrels, so don't rely on them too much.
What the freak? You're so freaky, bro.
What the freak? You're so freaky.
When the timer runs down, I charge up my bow and jump on this ledge and get to mid. It's very important to have mid control in construction because you can have the control over the whole map and shoot anyone. If your enemy contests the mid control, you can also use the side combo contest them. Because in mid it is a very small area, which is very easy for you to hit your side combo. If your enemy always scythe up to mid, you can also come to this right side and get on this barrel and jump shoot your enemy so you can poke them safely. I don't usually take this route, but you can also come here if your enemy likes to walk here. You can rush your enemy spawn by coming here and they jump to get a backstabbing. You can also take mid control with your knife, so you can nade boost here and quick melee when you get on this red platform if your enemy likes to scythe up here or nade boost here. And it is pretty easy to hit these because the platform in the middle is pretty small. If your enemy doesn't take mid and take routes down there, you can also drop down and backstab them easily when you're using the knife loadout. If you don't have mid control, you can also play inside here and shoot your enemy that is on top, like this, with your bow. Con is a really good map for bow because it's not too big and there's a lot of places you can play. And you can juke out your enemies and take really weird off angles on them, and you can be pretty unpredictable for your enemies. So imagine if I'm the enemy and I'm fighting a bow player. The bow user can come out from there and even shoot me weirdly from behind, and also can shoot me from there and over there, and also he can just come up over here too.